Welcome to Masculinity Now with Arabella Tornau. So welcome to Masculinity Now with Arabella Tornau and today's guest Aniko Fisch. Aniko has been Aniko has been my friend since 5 years now.
2020, yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
And it's our second podcast. I'm just so grateful to have you in my life. I'm grateful to be able to interview you today. And you are such a wise and gentle soul. You are a very intuitive energy healer. You are a spinal flow practitioner. You also do holistic nutritional coaching still, right?
Yes, yeah, I do.
And you are also the owner and facilitator of the Theraphi. You are also doing, and you are telling me this now a little bit more in depth, the face up method. We've been not in contact since a couple of months because I think both of our lives have been a little bit upside down the past couple of months. And maybe the listeners can relate to that because there's a lot of energy moving in the collective right now. So therefore, I would love to interview you today to first of all know what's been going on in your life, how are you, what is also the new method that you're doing, because I see a lot of great Instagram videos lately where you are massaging people. And yeah, let's just dive deeper into the themes because there's a lot of input I got already from you, a lot of energy. And for that, again, welcome to this episode today.
Thank you so much, Bella. You are such a soul sister. I know we've only known each other for, I guess, about 6 years now, but I've definitely known you for many lifetimes. So it's an honor to be on this journey with you in this current lifetime. And I think that this year, I know that's the first question that you asked me, is what's been going on for me this year. And I mean, what's not been going on for me this year? It's been such an intense year, and also one of the most transformational years I've ever experienced. And it really feels like I've been going on this journey of just unearthing anything that's hidden, lurking in the shadows that can't come with me onto the new path, basically, and into this new year. And so all the stuff, emotional stuff, mental stuff that I've been suppressing my whole life has all come up to the surface to be seen really loudly and clearly in this past year in 2025. And it feels like it's so resonant with the year of the snake, right? The year of shedding the old skin and really opening up to a new version of yourself. So yeah, it's been a very intense year for me, but I am grateful for every single moment of it because I think it really helped me to align with my more true, authentic self, and to really let go of all the masks. I haven't cleared all of them yet, but a lot of the masks have been shed, and I'm super grateful for that. Yeah, I know you've had a similar year.
Well, we definitely, so every time when we're not connecting physically, or when we're not checking in with each other, also via text or voice notes, every time after the first time we are checking in, we both realize we've been on the same journey, both in different ways, different lessons, but not really so different. I know it was a very, very challenging time this year for you. And we spoke about it before I pressed the record button to go deeper into that topic. I think probably maybe next time. But also feel always free to share whatever has been coming up for you. I just need to say that the last time I saw you, I think it was in Creeken. Was it in Ireland?
Yes. Yeah. So that was October of 2024.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, October. Oh my God. October in 2024. And to compare, like to have the comparison for like this woman that I see right now and also the strength that I hear in your voice note, it's incredible. And the lessons and the learning and also the shedding, because there was a lot of like, there are a lot of tears, and especially when we are releasing old identities, when we are releasing old versions of ourselves. And the journey is never fully done. It will never be fully done, because there are a lot of masks that we need to shed away. And interestingly wise, last time when we spoke, we both needed to laugh so much, because whatever we came to the conclusion, whatever we do, how amazing it is what we say, the researches that we can offer, it always comes back to authenticity, to God, and that we are all connected to the deeper wisdom in each of every cell in our being. And with that being said, I see you also as someone who is ever, like who's never stopped learning. You are very heartfelt soul, but you're also very scientifically. That is something that I really admire of you. And apologies for my English. That is like the first time I'm recording an English podcast again.
Bella,
And
you're doing an amazing
oh my
job.
God, I have the feeling the words need to be really pressed out of my whole being.
I can see the contraction.
It's like I'm really trying here to really fully show my English skills, but yeah, please be forgiving with me. I want to lean deeper into the English language again, but for now, I think we all know what I want to say, because please share a little bit of what you're offering to the world, what your services are, and also the biggest question, why?
Oh, I love that. Okay. So, yeah, so over the past, I think it's been almost 15 years at this point, I've gone through many different iterations of offerings with clients. So I started with just holistic nutrition coaching. That was back in my early 20s. And then after that, I studied eating psychology because I wanted to get more into the psyche and what's going on emotionally for people when they are ingesting food. And then I started to train in different forms of energy medicine and started to do more hands-on healing. And then I trained in a modality called Body Talk, which was my primary modality for quite a while. And then I think last time you and I interviewed, I didn't have the Theraphi yet, right?
Mm-mm.
Right. So a few years ago, I started a practice that was based off of this incredible frequency healing technology called Theraphi, which helped me tremendously on my own healing journey. I went through 5 years of really debilitating mystery illness. And it was really one of the only modalities at the time that helped me and was giving me hope that I would get well again. And I knew at that time, that was back in, I discovered it back in 2017 when I was really unwell. And, I couldn't work. I wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to heal my body. And after a few sessions with this Theraphi frequency technology, I knew, like in my heart, I just knew that one day I would own this technology and I would be helping other people with the powers of this healing device. So that's been one of the cornerstones of my healing practice these days is the Theraphi, and I can go into more of it if you want to hear more about the science behind it at some point.
I definitely want to. I definitely want to.
So we can talk about that, and then I'll just quickly share the other things that I'm doing as well. So the Theraphi is a big part of my practice these days, and then I'm not so much doing the body talk anymore, although I do incorporate into some sessions here and there. Same with the holistic nutrition. People will book me to just do that kind of a coaching session, but I typically don't offer it on my website. And then in addition to the Theraphi, I also do a modality called Spinal Flow, which is working with the energetics of the spine. And I'm happy to go more into that modality as well. And
Please.
then the most recent addition to my practice is a method called Face Up, which is we call it a neuro-emotional sculpting method. So it's working through, with a kind of massage technique, it's working through the deep fascia layers of the neck, the face, the cranium, the head, and the jaw to release years of built-up tension,
Wow.
and to really help to restore the nervous system. So these are like the three main modalities that people come to see me for on a regular basis. And I would say the common theme amongst all of them, they are very different modalities, but the common theme is that they really help to drop people into that deep parasympathetic state, which is, in my opinion, the only way that the body can truly and fully heal itself. So the idea is that you get the body and the nervous system into a state where it feels actually safe enough for the body's healing powers to come online, because I truly believe that we all have this incredibly powerful healing capacity, a self-healing capacity. It lies within all of us, and the only time it's not really able to come online and work its magic is when our systems are in a state of fight or flight. So all these modalities that I do with my clients, the main intention behind them is to really get them and their bodies to feel safe enough to just let go and let their healing wisdom take over and rebalance their bodies. So yeah, those are my offerings.
That is amazing. I experienced personally the Theraphi. I did it not in person yet, but I did it also remote. So maybe we dive into the science of it, because, distance I noticed also with my own clients when they hear remote sessions, or when they hear, even online coaching, but also even working with clients online and bringing them into a state of deep relaxation where the body's self-healing abilities come up. It's still sometimes a myth for them how it will actually work. Can you go deeper into this topic?
Yeah, so you mean specifically the remote healing topic?
Also the remote healing topic, because that's like what I experienced with the Theraphi. But I also know that how can I, when I come to you and I'm new to you, I'm new to the Theraphi, and I'm also new, maybe I live somewhere across the world. I now have the possibility to come to LA to experience a session with you with a Theraphi, but then I go back to Germany, for example, but I want to continue with you. Could you dive deeper into what I will expect in the first in-person session with you, and also what can I expect of the continuously work afterwards with you in regards to the remote session?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I'll start by talking about what you'll experience in the in-person session. So
Thank you.
So what is Theraphi? That's the main question here. So it is a frequency and cold plasma based healing technology that's inspired by the work of Nikola Tesla as well as some other inventors, but Nikola Tesla is the one we hear about mostly. And it's comprised, it's a multimodality system. So it's comprised of three different components. So there's an amplifier, which is just like a machine that sits on top of a table. And that amplifier is connected by a wire to a Tesla coil. This Tesla coil sits under the massage table. Okay, so and I'm sure many people have heard of what a Tesla coil is. It's essentially a coil that's made out of copper, like copper wire, that's wound really tightly. And when it's connected to this amplifier and the electricity gets turned on, the amplifier generates a cascade of healing frequencies that are all in harmonic with the phi ratio, which is basically the mathematics of nature. Everything is built off of the phi ratio. And I don't know if you remember, Bella, in school, in high school, if you ever learned about the phi ratio, the golden mean, you remember the Fibonacci spiral? Do you remember any of that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's based off of those equations.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Okay.
Kinda.
Okay.
I need to say kinda.
Yeah,
my ego is like, yeah, I know. Realistically speaking, I kinda know.
Yeah, you can remember the visual, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, so the amplifier is actually generating frequencies that are in harmonic with that ratio, right? So with the golden mean. And that starts to activate the Tesla coil, okay? So when the Tesla coil is activated, it creates an electromagnetic field. And then the other part of the Theraphi is that this Tesla coil is connected to two, they look like glass light bulbs that are on either side of the massage table. So when a client is lying on the table, one is at their head, the other is at their feet. And inside these glass tubes are noble gases. And when the Tesla coil, which is connected by wires to these tubes, when it gets activated, the noble gases inside the tubes, the molecules inside the gases start to get excited and they start to dance around. And it actually creates a beautiful pinky orangey glow of light, which we call plasma. And so you can actually see it when you turn on the machine. You can see the plasma within the bulbs. But even though you can only see it in the bulbs, it's actually going all around the body of the person who's lying on the table.
Wow.
So, and it's also going through the body. So it's kind of enveloping the body. It's also going through the body. And so you're getting this healing from the plasma field, which is like, it's a coherent field, a completely coherent field. So it's canceling out all external distortion. It's helping to rebalance any cellular distortion in your body. It's helping, in my opinion, it helps to rebalance not only the physical body, but also the mental, the emotional, the energetic body as well. And it basically brings you back into your true alignment, which is, has been kind of distorted by, you name it, toxins, negative thoughts, illness, harmful pollution harmful frequency pollution around us. So the Theraphi really just helps to realign you and get you back to your most coherent state to support your body in healing and rebalancing itself. That's what it does ultimately. Yeah.
That's amazing, because when you go back into a coherent state within yourself, and you pointed it out a couple of minutes ago, your body's self-healing abilities come up to the surface, and all the messages that our physical issues, our mental issues, or emotional issues are telling us, they can rebalance themselves, they can heal themselves without, how do I say it, not external influences. You can do that all by yourself. And that is so empowered. Like, that's like true empowerment here.
Absolutely. And that is kind of my philosophy, which is, I think, especially in the Western world, and especially in Western medicine, but even in holistic healing, in naturopathic medicine, homeopathy, things like that, we tend to have this mentality that, here's a symptom and we need to destroy the symptom, right? And we'll use whatever method we can use to get rid of the symptom. And so it's kind of like this warfare mentality, right? Like, oh, here's this thing that's wrong with the body. Let's just attack it, kill it, get rid of it. In Western medicine, we do surgery, we pump people full of chemo, we give them a drug to suppress symptoms. It doesn't actually go to the root cause, it just suppresses symptoms. And the whole idea is let's destroy the problem, right? So this is what's called destructive medicine and destructive healing, right? And what Theraphi does is more of a constructive method of healing, because rather than trying to target an issue and get rid of that symptom or whatever imbalance is going on in the body, it just gives your system the right amount of energy and the right amount of resources to be able to heal and rebalance itself. So through that lens, when the body has enough energy, it will actually rebalance and symptoms will just disappear, but not because you were directly attacking them, if that makes sense. So it's a much more feminine, yin approach to healing than the more targeted. And I'm not saying that the targeted masculine form of healing is not necessary sometimes, but I think more often than not, what the body really needs is that more constructive form of healing, so it can actually be empowered to rebalance itself.
Right, and you pointed out the feminine and the masculine way, and sometimes, especially in our Western culture, the structure is very masculine. So we tend to be more impatient, and we also tend to take the shortcut in order to just function in a world that requires a constant moving of energy instead of resting and just trusting that God is going to move us when He wants to move us. And there's a saying, or not a saying, but there is a teaching that came up for me when you were talking about that, and it says illness cannot exist when love is present. And it actually says in a different way that the feminine's way, and we all have that, the man and the woman, it is not gender based, but to say love, nourishment, patient, that is what our body needs. And sometimes it also needs, especially, to go to someone who makes you the center of their world, and you just receive beautiful, restorative, healing frequencies and energies. And I see, when I'm on Instagram and I see your videos, and it's a healing area, it's a healing sanctuary that I see. And before I want to dive deeper into also the face up, just let's go back and please explain me, how does the Theraphi also works when I will go back to Germany after I was attending an in-person session with you?
Yeah.
How come?
Yeah. How does it work? I know, and there's still a lot of skeptical people out there. And to be honest, sometimes I'm skeptical of it as well, because when I do remote sessions for people such as yourself and other clients, and they tell me that they feel the energy so strongly from thousands of miles away, I sometimes question it. I'm like, how is this possible? But I've seen this kind of result enough to know that it totally is possible. And it's also proven by quantum physics. And I'm not going to go, I mean, I'm not like a scientist by any means, but I have gone deep down rabbit holes with quantum physics and looking at this idea that the concept of time and space are just constructs. They're just illusions. There is actually no time. There is actually no space. So we're all connected through this soup of energy that's all around us, right? And someone, yeah, go ahead.
No, I wanted to scratch in and say, I was watching Interstellar the other day again.
I've never seen
And
it.
oh yeah, I mean, it's great. It's totally great because, and then I was going deeper also into this science behind it and Albert Einstein and the everything what it says in regards to time and space. That's just our own limitations, so that our mind can understand where is time, like where's the present moment, where's the past moment, where's the here and now. But in the end of the day, that's what we talked about it the last time. I personally believe everything happens right now, parallel from everything. So thank God, because of that, I trust more and more that distance is and energy. There is, of course, it works. Like we can also call each other, and I can reach you miles away. Of course, it works. And sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I'm just right now, yeah, in a space where I'm the first time very much hyped and interested to go deeper into the science, because I finally have the feeling I opened myself up to that. So I'm just more curious and excited about to talk about it with you there.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, really, it is true, and I know we had this really cool conversation last time we were on the phone together about this. How it's all just an illusion. This whole time space thing, even
Yeah.
we were talking about even the past lives. Did they actually happen in the past, or are they all just kind of in parallel happening in the present moment, and is all we have the present moment, and I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole too,
We can.
but basically I'll reel us back to the remote session. So
Thank you. Yeah.
you're welcome. So basically, a remote session is very simple. So typically I'll have the client connect with me right before I do the session, just so we can kind of get energetically connected, and then they'll share what intentions they have for the session. And then they will send me a photo of them, like preferably a more recent photo. And I will print it out. And then right before the session starts, I'll lay it on the table that's in between the two plasma bulbs of the Theraphi. And then, I'll just have them get ready. And for 30 minutes, I just tell them, just receive and see what happens. So preferably lying down or sitting up in meditation. It's best not to be moving around or, driving or doing anything that's distracting. And I just have them focus on their intention for their healing, for their session. And then we usually disconnect. We usually don't stay on the phone for the session. And I just turn on the Theraphi. Their photo is in the field. So when the plasma turns on, it creates a field around the photo. And the photo acts like an antenna for that person and their energy. So the field, the electromagnetic field from the Theraphi, can pick up on the fact that Arabella is in the field, even though it's just her photo.
Right.
And it's almost like Wi-Fi, like our phones connecting to each other. It's like, when
Right.
people question how does distance healing work, but they don't question how I can call someone who lives in China and instantaneously we can be connecting. It's like, really, it's all done through the ether, basically. So it's basically just like we're giving you a phone call, like from your photo to your physical being in Germany, with the help of the Theraphi, and you're receiving the energies, you're receiving the healing, even though you're miles away. And typically people really do feel a lot of energy moving through their bodies when they do the remote sessions. It's super cool.
It is super cool because I think I did twice a Therapy session with you.
Yeah.
And I'm also, I do another system by myself. It's called the Rising Star. I'm also a practitioner, but I also receive it. I do remote Reiki sessions with clients. It's all working, and I love to receive them, especially from the distance, because then I can make it like it's my field. I'm at home. It's very comfortable, and you can listen to music or whatsoever. But I remember the session, like the 2 times I did it with you. I think, you ask me also for my intentions for the session and what wants to be cleared out, and also what I would love to, emphasize into the present moment. And I truly, and that it's with every energy work, it's not that, the crazy amount of reaction you receive. Sometimes they have, like, I'm pretty sure you also have clients who experience, also the crazy releases, or they have a lot of energy moving in person or remote. But for me, the energy works very subtle and very quiet. And that is what is so fascinating, because so many times we believe, oh, is it really coming from the session? Is it really actually working? Because it's so subtle, but in the end of the day, it's so big, because it helps you to really, or it helps your body to really align with all the natural healing abilities your body knows how to do it, and releases everything what you are not. And it doesn't need to be only physical. It's also very deep mental and emotional clearing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And you're so right that it doesn't take a lot to experience profound transformation. I think we tend to have this idea that, if we're doing any sort of healing, it has to have like a major, we have to feel it right away, and we have to have like sorry, I'm blanking on my words here. It just has to be like really felt and loud and extreme, and like, oh yes, I just got that healing, like it has to feel really obvious to us. And that's typically not the case. I do feel like the body, and not just the physical, also the mental, the energetic, the emotional, these bodies really feel way more supported by that subtle, gentle energy that is just a reminder of who you truly are, and what your most aligned self is, right? So yeah, that is why I think the remote healing can be so incredible, because it's, you're actually just letting that subtlety take over and support your system in doing its own healing.
And it's also the feminine way, because I personally believe the consciousness is shifting since a couple of years. And when I connect with people who are a little bit older than me, and who like are on the healing journey, were on the healing journey when I started my healing journey, they had these crazy amounts of breakthroughs where they were crying on the floor. They were really like bawling their tears, like, is it an English saying, bawling their tears out?
Yeah,
no, I don't.
Bawling their eyes out.
bawling their. Oh my! You need to bring me back into the English language, really. It's a lot of German. Thank you. But yeah, they were talking about, those crazy experiences, and they were not stopping to cry. They were being, even Ray, our common friend, said that when they started their healing journey to come to our teacher, there were people, flying on the floor, like rolling around and getting their demons out of themselves. That's not how it works anymore, But everything gets a little bit more quieter, more grounded. It's more, the energy is more grounded in regards to the healing work. It's not like the bang, 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 and we need to be loud about that and extreme about that. It's more about, okay, let's bring all the healing, everything what you learned so far, all your emotional clearing into a grounded approach so that you can actually work with it and not, escape into ayahuasca and all of that other stuff, where I have a very big opinion about that, apparently.
No, I hear you, and you're spot on, Bella. I've also seen that transition from the more intense way of healing to the subtler, more gentle forms of healing. And it's not to say that the other way to do it was bad, but I do think that a lot of the time with that more intense approach to healing, ultimately it can often lead to more harm than good, because basically you're keeping your nervous system stuck in that kind of fight flight energy. Like it's one thing if you have this big cathartic release, right? And that's amazing. And then you can go back into your more parasympathetic rest and digest state. But when you're constantly throwing healing methods, modalities, approaches at yourself that are just keeping you in that activated state, the body doesn't actually have time to recalibrate and rebalance itself. So that's what people have to be aware of, is even if they are doing the big cathartic things and, cold plunging every day and, infrared sauna all the time and ayahuasca and, like doing really extreme things to push trauma out of their system, it has to be balanced with that, the rest and the nourishment and the self-love practices and the kinds of healing modalities that really get you into such a deeply relaxed state. And this is where I think like we still need to find that balance.
And I would like to know, because, also what really caught my attention was also the face up method that you are practicing, because you really, like, we are human beings, we love touch, we love to be in physical contact, especially when we are lacking self-love, when we are lacking nourishment from ourselves in the end. We are yearning to have the motherly energy of receiving, of nourishment, of empathy back into our system. So please tell me a little bit about the face-up method. When did you start with that, and what exactly is it?
Yeah, so it's a very recent addition to my practice. I did the training for it a few months ago and started to incorporate it into my practice with clients just a couple of months ago. And I am already seeing profound results in my clients. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so basically it is it's like deep fascia release work, specifically in the neck and the face and the jaw and the back of the head. And we also work a little bit on the shoulders. We do a lot of lymphatic drainage. And, on the surface level, it looks like a face sculpting massage, because people do have phenomenal results where they start to look way more lifted, wrinkles start to disappear, their jaw takes on a more defined look. So you start to notice very visible changes in people. But it goes so much deeper than just that, because if you think about how much tension and like suppression of emotion we hold in our faces, it just blows my mind that this is not something that we talk about, this idea of massaging the face, releasing tension and pressure buildup in the face and the neck and the jaw. I mean, so many people have TMJ, so jaw tension issues and headaches and forehead pressure and, tight necks, and they're just like bottlenecked with all their energy from the shoulders up, and yet it's
like me in the beginning.
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, oh,
yeah, exactly. It's like, and yet it's the least worked on part of the body in any healing modality or any massage, you know. And even if you go get a facial, they'll lightly massage your face, and it's nice, but it's not that real deep fascia release work that we need. So this modality is profound, because at the same time that it's lifting you and giving you more natural radiance, it's also helping you release layers of built up tension from all the emotional suppression of your lifetime, from all the trauma, all the stress. You know, you're working a lot with the cranial nerves, which run through the neck, and the vagus nerve in particular, which is directly connected to the parasympathetic nervous system. So when you work on these areas, you release tension there, you just immediately unwind and ground into that part of your nervous system that supports rest and healing. So people, when they're on the table, like, I'll start working on them, and you know, it's quite a deep pressure, but it's not too intense. And like, I would say 90% of them, by the end of the session, they're snoring. Like, they're just so deeply relaxed, and they fall asleep because their system feels safe enough to do so. It's like when I was receiving it for myself during the training, it was like feeling a level of safety I never thought could exist in my body.
Yeah. Wow.
You know? Because even when I thought I was relaxed, you know, doing the breath work, doing the meditation, doing the yoga, hand on my heart, all of that, I actually haven't experienced as much relaxation and tension release as I have with this method.
That is amazing.
Incredible. Yeah.
You know, the first thing that popped up also in my mind was, of course, you know, it's all the tension that we hear from suppressing our voice. It's all the anger that is built up here in our jaw from all the stuff we didn't say when we needed to say something, when we, you know, crossed our own boundaries, when our boundaries were crossed, when we didn't say no, when someone didn't hear our no, you know, where we lied to ourselves and it got stuck in our being, and where we feel insecure and everything, you know, from generations to generations.
100% correct. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the really cool thing about this method, is that, you know, so we can read a person's soul and a person's energy and their whole life experience just through their face and their facial expressions. And you can tell when somebody's been holding the burden of a lifetime in you know, the furrowed brows, or the, you know, the like skin that just seems to be kind of weighted down, the wrinkles, the jowls, like all of, I mean, yeah, of course we age, that's natural, but a lot of these signs of aging are actually premature, and they're really just signs of too much tension held in the face that needs to be released. And so when you release that tension, the skin naturally loses the lines, it naturally lifts, it naturally starts to have this radiance, this light coming out of it. Your eyes start to open up, and it's not because you put fillers or Botox in your skin. It's because you just released years of emotional suppression, like you're saying, trauma, and holding patterns, like expressions that you just you know, kept repeating over and over again, whether it's like lifting your eyebrows a lot, or, you know, frowning a lot because you were an unhappy person or whatever. So yeah, it's so cool. It's really like it's the future of skincare, in my opinion, and like beautiful natural aging.
It's so fitting that you're also offering that, you know. I'm really happy that we have this conversation today, because it just makes so much sense that you added that into your toolbox. And I really also want to speak about another method that you're doing, and that is really blowing also up my own mind, and that is our spine. And while you were talking, went to Instagram and opened up your story, because today you posted that 90% of the stimulation and nutrition to the brain is generated by the movement of the spine. And that's from Dr. Roger Sperry. You are the spine queen for me. You have probably like so much wisdom and knowledge about that, not only emotionally, but also, yeah, biologically. Oh, yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Thanks, my chairwoman. And, and also scientifically speaking. Please tell us about that. What is the most fascinating research on the spine that you did?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I'll briefly just mention that, I'll just mention a little bit about what the spine work is that I do,
Yes.
just to give you an idea.
Please.
So basically, it's a modality called Spinal Flow, like I mentioned. And as the practitioner, I very lightly contact with my fingers what we call access points, which are mostly along the sacrum. So the sacrum is at the base of the spine. It's like the foundation of the spine. And the access points are like little divots in the sacrum that you can kind of dip your finger into. And once you're on an access point, what happens is that the body's innate healing wisdom, which in the spinal flow method we call the spinal wave, it starts to get activated. And as it gets activated, the body and the spine start to respond, and the sacrum actually starts to increase its movement, and it creates a wave that moves through the spine. And with some people, it's incredible because it literally is, you see them with their spine just waving on the table. Like you can visibly see like an ocean wave moving through their spine from the base, from the sacrum, all the way to the brain. And
Wow.
basically, when this gets activated, this spinal wave, it's moving through the spine and the central nervous system to the brain, and it's dissolving any blockage that's being stored in the spine. And these blockages are an accumulation of stress that has built up over time. And so basically the idea is that when we experience stress throughout our lives and we don't have a way to process the stress, it gets stored in our systems, right? And through the lens of spinal flow, this stress gets stored in the spine as blockage, right? So we have all these blockages along the spine, which basically stop life force energy from moving efficiently through our spine to the brain. And therefore it's like dimming down our self-healing capacity when you have this obstruction in the spine. So the spinal flow just opens everything up, gets the spinal wave moving through so that the blockages start to dissolve on their own and the spine can be liberated. And yeah, and it's really profound. You don't see that kind of wave-like movement with everybody, but with every single client, you can see when I'm contacting these access points that something is shifting, that there's some sort of energy moving all the way through the spine to the cranium. And when you liberate your spine like this, in a very gentle way, here's the other thing is that, you know, you can go to a chiropractor and the chiropractor has the same intention, which is just to release the blockage in the spine, right? They call it subluxation. In spinal flow, we call it blockage. But essentially, it's the same thing, right? Their goal is to really get rid of blockage, obstruction in the spine, so that the nerves can be free, right?
Yeah.
The thing is with chiropractic, going back to this idea of the more masculine approach to healing, with chiropractors, they're using external manipulation to fix the issue in the spine, right? Which can be amazing, but sometimes it can actually put the body more into fight flight, and it can be too forceful for your nervous system. So the difference between a chiropractor and a spinal flow practitioner is that the spinal flow practitioner is basically just pressing the buttons, the quote unquote buttons on your sacrum to activate your body's own healing intelligence to move through your spine in the way that it wants to move through your spine, rather than forcing external manipulation, if that makes sense. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Wait, are you hearing that?
Yes, I wanted to scratch in and just asking, what do you mean by external manipulation? You mean like the very like, pushy, and the method that, like being, like stretched and, moved into the right and to the left side, that's like very, it's good, but it's intense, and it's also, do you mean that by external manipulation?
Yes, and more specifically what I mean is, have you ever gone to a chiropractor?
Yeah.
So they've literally like pressed down on your spine, right? Or like twisted your neck to crack, right?
Yeah.
So you're putting force externally to crack the vertebrae. I mean, you don't literally crack them, but so basically to shift the vertebrae out of their stuck positioning and to free up the spine. But in my opinion, that is forceful external manipulation, right? Whereas with the spinal flow, you're just getting the body's own wave healing intelligence activated, and that intelligence moves through your spine, and however it moves for your specific body, it will realign your vertebrae naturally, or like more naturally than a chiropractor would, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. I mean, I saw your videos, and it's really like when you see, the spinal flow technique, and you're pressing really gently, on the back, on the spine, and also like, on the back, and you just see the movement. You notice that the practitioner in this case, it's very gentle, it's very, very light, and it's just, you basically give them a direction to move, and probably also you allow the energy to come up and to move. You open the door, and the energy moves through the door, and that is so fascinating because it's true. When we go to a chiropractor, it's brilliant. We feel good afterwards. It's also very freeing, but it's also coming from the external, and that's like the difference with that.
Yeah, exactly. And again, not to say that chiropractors aren't good. There are some really phenomenal chiropractors out there. I have also had multiple clients come to see me for spinal flow because they've been harmed by chiropractors, because if a chiropractor doesn't know what they're doing, or they just do one wrong movement, the spine is, so the vertebrae of the spine are surrounding the spinal cord. That's your central nervous system. All the nerves branch out of your spinal cord. So your spine is the house of your nervous system. And if anything goes wrong there, you can pinch nerves, and you can stop information from flowing to very crucial parts of your body. Or your central nervous system innervates. It gives information to every organ, every muscle, every tissue of the body. So if a chiropractor does a mistake, you can damage, and you can pinch nerves and stop your body's own life force from flowing to the places that need it. So yes, I've helped people kind of reverse the damage that some chiropractors did to them.
That is so cool. That's so really interesting. What is your take on someone who comes to you, for example, with a slipped disc, or what is the first impulse you get when someone says, okay, for many years ago, I had a herniated disc, or recently my doctor told me that my disc slipped away, or whatsoever. What is your take on with that?
Yeah, so what's interesting with the spinal flow technique is that people will come to me with various issues, right? Imbalances such as a slipped disc. And it'll always be the same answer for everyone. That's the cool thing. It's not, it's not like this individualized thing. The idea is that when you get that life force energy and blood flow and innervation properly moving through the spine, and when you liberate your spine, everything can go back into alignment. Now, some people have herniated discs that, I mean, are so impacting their lives because they're in so much pain on a daily basis that surgery sometimes is the better solution for them. But I equally believe that the body is incredibly brilliant and can rebalance itself from pretty much anything. And so if you just give it the proper foundation, and if you just liberate its own healing energy and allow it to move more efficiently through the spine and the whole body, it can rebalance anything, including a slipped disc.
Right.
Yeah. So, but it wouldn't be a different answer for that person than it would be for someone coming to me with, let's say, like digestive issues, right? It's all the same. The idea is you have a blockage in your spine that's an accumulation of a lifetime of stress. And with this idea, or, with the help of moving energy through your spine, you can rebalance that issue. You can eliminate that issue, basically.
Right.
Yeah. So
It's fascinating.
It is really fascinating. Yeah. And go ahead.
Wanted to ask, what are, when you think about your clients, your recent clients, can you tell one or two stories where you had the feeling like, okay, this is very fascinating?
Yeah. So I have one client in particular who he was a case where he went to a chiropractor 20 years ago, and he had gone to this guy for quite a while, and then one day he got an adjustment from this guy, and afterwards he felt his upper back, like his thoracic spine, just lock up, and for 20 years he could not get rid of this issue. Like he was experiencing daily pain in his upper spine, and very restricted movement. When he first came into me, his shoulders were like up to his ears, basically, because he was just in so much chronic pain. And he could barely run. He could barely do exercise. He could barely move his upper body. And he was, you could see he was like visibly in a state of fight flight the whole time. And he also didn't want to go to other chiropractors because he was so traumatized by that one experience that, he was trying other modalities to try to get rid of this issue. And so after just a couple spinal flow sessions, because basically what we did is we got energy and life force moving to an area that was locked up like armor for 20 years. But we were able to open up and dissolve that armoring to the point where he was able to start doing things again. And he started to not feel any pain in his upper spine. Yeah. And so he had texted me after a couple sessions saying it was the first time he went on a treadmill in years. And he's not feeling the excruciating pain anymore. And therefore, he wasn't constantly in that contracted fight-flight state, and so he was feeling more calm on a daily basis, and he just had so much more mobility in not only his spine, but his whole body. So, that was a really cool example.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for people who are listening now to the podcast and maybe they're not in LA? Maybe they're in Germany, maybe they're another part of America or somewhere else, but do you have any tips what they can use in order to move their spine, or in order to release tension from the spine, so they can have more access to life force energy?
Absolutely. So I'm a really big fan of Kundalini yoga. Not all aspects of it, but definitely the practices, the kriyas that focus on opening up the spine, liberating the spine. And you've seen what these yogis do, right? Yeah. So basically just repetitive opening up of the spine and moving it side to side and back and forth, and really getting that life force moving from the base of the spine all the way up to the head is really great. Now, Kundalini yoga can be a little intense for people. So you can just start by doing really simple exercises that just open up your sacrum. So even while you're seated, you can kind of just tune into your sacrum and like move it back and forth a little bit, like opening it up, kind of like you're about to open up your chest. And then when you go back, just kind of hunching your shoulders down a bit, and then like closing your chest. I mean, I don't know how easy this is to show on a podcast, but essentially just getting the base of your spine to start moving. And even if it's in the most subtle way, like even while you're standing, you can just kind of arch and then relax, arch and then relax, and just get that little wave, like it's like a pumping motion that you want to get in the sacrum. But basically when you unlock the sacrum, that's when you get the life force energy moving efficiently to your head, to your brain. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, this was the whole idea that the yogis were presenting, was the fact that all of our life force and our connection to God, to the divine, is experienced through the spine. So if you have a spine that's really locked up and you're not moving it properly, and you're just being hunched over and kind of contorted, you're going to have a much harder time getting your own life force energy moving through your system, and you're also going to have a much harder time connecting to the divine. So that's why they always said that, along with the meditation and the rightful living and all of that, do some sort of asana, some sort of movement practice that strengthens the spine and that opens up the spine. Yeah. So there's so many things that you could do, but basically just anything that focuses on opening up the spine.
Yeah, that's amazing. And thank you. I love how we are closing our podcast today with God, because we said it also in the last time we spoke, that in the end of the day, and that's what I meant in the beginning, when I was still trying to find my words, that everything what we do comes back into form and comes back full circle, that everything is God. That sometimes, and I know that you had those moments as well, sometimes when you're in the point of transition, when you're learning new things, when old things fall off because they don't resonate with your new version anymore, you are in a state where or at least I was in the state recently where I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I actually doing? Because in the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter which tip or how I call myself. In the end of the day, it's all God. And what do I want to say with it? Everything what we do is just a pathway to get closer to God. It doesn't matter, actually, in the end of the day, which technique you use. It doesn't matter which tools you use. It just really matters that you do something that connects you more to divinity within yourself. And the biggest point also in my personal journey, and maybe it resonates for you, is to open myself up to believe in God. again.
Yeah. Wow. Beautifully said, Bella. I completely agree with you. Yeah. I do think that all of us, and especially myself, like we have this tendency to just overcomplicate everything and to stay so in the mind when really the ultimate truth is that it's all God. It really is. And you're right. Like every path that we take is just a path leading towards God. And if we remember that, it doesn't really matter the path that we're taking, right? But I think there's a lot of freedom in just releasing all the need to know everything and research everything and, you know, do all the different healing modalities and try to find a way to heal yourself and all of that. If you just let all of that go and just trust that you're being taken care of by the divine and that simplicity is the ultimate healer, like I actually think that you'll go a lot further on your journey than, you know, if you forget where your connection is. You know, if you forget where you came from, if you forget your source, then you walk around in this life just feeling like there's always more that you need to do, right? And what I'm really coming to the conclusion of is that actually I need to do a lot less than I've been doing. And even with my clients, like I don't need to force opinions on them and give them a whole laundry list of things they need to do. All I need to do is connect to my source and remember that they are also connected to the very same source, and that when we can see each other in that light, so much profound healing can happen, because it's like a remembrance, you know? It's I feel like at this point, especially in this past year, I just keep coming back to this idea that, wow, it's all an illusion created by the mind, you know? And really, like, we're just here to remember where we came from and that we're all connected. And when you remember, you know, your connection to the divine, you remember that you are divine and that you have the capacity to heal from any sort of imbalance that's occurring in your life, whether it's in your physical body or just, you know, whatever else is going on. So yeah, just bringing it back to simplicity, bringing it back to God, and going back to the heart, dropping from the mind to the heart.
Thank you, Aniko. It's been a really beautiful conversation with you, and also what you spoke upon the last couple of minutes is really profound, because, you know, you healed yourself and now you are supporting others in their own ability to heal themselves. And if that is not knowing that you are connected to divinity, we need to find divinity within us, and then we can share it. And that's probably the whole reason of our own existence in this whole universe from all of us. Because we are all here walking each other home. And as cheesy as the sentence is, it is truly, we always cycle back towards that. And when we are connected and we can have heart-to-heart conversations like those, we realize, yeah, there are certain roles we do need to play in this board game of God. And yes, you are a practitioner, and you are a very, very powerful practitioner. You are also a very beautiful friend. You're also a very beautiful girlfriend. And you're also, you know, a woman who is walking this path here and who takes with her what resonates and leaves and tosses out what does not. And with that being said, I love that we are connected in this lifetime. I also love that we are connected to play certain roles and to have conversations that reinforces that what we do is actually very helpful and supportive. And for that, I'm really looking forward to connect another time with you to have another conversation, because I truly believe it will be as deep as this one. And before I close out, is there anything else that you would like to share with me and with the listeners here?
I just want to thank you, Bella, for being such an incredible bright light and such an incredible soul in my life, and I know in many other people's lives. And
Thank you.
You just have this capacity to help people feel so safe and seen right away, and you just your care and your interest in people and their stories and in really revealing their souls is really inspiring. So thank you so much. And yeah, thanks for doing this journey of life with me. It's been
you know what?
a wild ride.
It's been a wild ride. Yeah. And for sure, it's not boring at all.
No. Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment with us. I can remember, like sometimes I love, because you're such a sweet and gentle soul, but with you, I just love that, my inner child comes out with you and wants to play and wants to curse and wants to, see everything. Like sometimes it's really, really heavy, and then you bring me back and we just laugh. And we had some moments also in retreats together, and we shared a room together. And we are on this journey together. And for that, you're really, you're a very deep friend of mine. And I'm excited where this journey will bring us even deeper.
Me too. Thank you so much, Bella. And one last thing I want to say is just what I appreciate about you and me is that we're able to laugh at ourselves together. Yeah. And I think maybe that's the last thing I want to leave people with is just don't take life too seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously. I spent most of my life up until very recently taking myself way too seriously, and I'm done with that. And I promise you, life will flow a lot more beautifully if you just bring some levity into it and laugh at yourself a lot more. So yeah, thank you for laughing at yourself with me.
Thank you, Coco. Always and forever.
Yeah. Love you, Bella.
Love you. Bye-bye.